First time I've cracked out my longboard in like a long time. Long time. Feels pretty good. We are at the park. Grass is really brown. We have not gotten much rain in the last couple months. Whoa! Jesus Christ. I'm okay. Okay, let's find a place to park it and tell a little bit about my story today. Yeah, so geez, today was a day, let me tell you. I got served a summons to appear in court for a landlord dispute, and I'm the landlord, for two ex-tenants of mine, Kaylee and Becker. And it's a little bit shitty what's going on. It's kind of exposes how unfair this system is in some ways. And at the same time, I admit, I didn't know what I was getting into when I took on the role of landlord and renting out to a couple tenants who are also roommates. But in the end, I ended up evicting one of them, and they both decided to leave. But I gave the one that I evicted almost 2 months notice. And then what they ended up doing was both of them just left. They just abandoned the place. They gave me 2 weeks notice that they were leaving, and they didn't pay me their final month rent, and they left the place completely disgusting. I don't think they had cleaned at all their bathroom and their bedrooms, and it was gross and disgusting. And so I kept their damage deposit in order to pay for cleaning and to supplement the rent that they did not pay, the last month rent they didn't pay. And they took me to mediation, and they won on a technicality. In order for me to keep their damage deposit, I had to give them written notice within the first 2 weeks of ending their tenancy. 2 weeks after they move out, I guess, technically. And I didn't know I had to do that. So the judge ruled in their favor, and not only do I have to give them their damage deposit back, I have to give them twice their damage deposit back, 2 times. So what was going to be $850 is now $1,700 plus court costs, so another $88. So I'm on the line for basically $1,800 for 2 tenants that skipped out early without giving me adequate notice or paying me their final month's rent. And they left the place in a fucking shambles. That just doesn't seem fair. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to have to pay it and then attempt to take them to mediation to get them to pay for their last month's rent. And I got to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole to do that. So it's a bit of a weird system, and it's caused me a fair amount of stress. But at the same time, I try and look at, like, what are the lessons in all these things, and I try and look at what do I personally need to learn from these experiences. And I need to dot my I's and cross my T's and understand the nature of the law when it comes to the Residential Tenancy Act and things like that, which I have now done. I don't even own the house. I lease the house, and I'm a sub-leasee to my tenants. So I've since done that, and I've gotten everything sorted out with the new tenants, the current tenants, which are working out amazingly well. But in this case, it was an expensive lesson to learn about the letter of the law. And beyond that, what it's offering me is this opportunity, I think, to grow into more abundance. Because in the past, $1,800 for me would have been like that would have been really hard for me to swallow and come up with and move on from. But, thank God, I've been blessed with a lot of abundance lately. My work's going really well. And just last week alone, I made about $2,300. So it's not a huge hit for me. I can actually cover it. But it's more the principle of the thing for me that is still hard for me to swallow. They kind of stiffed me, and yet I'm the one who has to pay fucking extra for it. So I'm looking at this like a life lesson, God's providing me with the abundance to pay it off, to pay them out. And it's almost like trust in the universe that I'm going to be making enough in the future, and that this is just going to help me to grow into a more abundant man. And to only kind of wish goodwill towards those that have done me wrong. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get there. I'm getting there. Slowly, I'm getting there. In amongst all the images and visions I have of revenge and retaliation, and all the dark stuff. Gotta honor the dark stuff in order to get to the light. So that is one of my lessons for today. Whew! Trust in God. There is a way. Peace and love. Little dog.
Once again.